Hey there, Rebel fans. Welcome inside of the Las Vegas Review-Journal studio. I'm your host, Cassie Soto, coming back for a spring edition of Rebel Nation, joined in studio by Rebels beat writer for the Las Vegas Review-Journal, Mark Anderson. Mark, thanks for stopping by. It's been a second since we've done one of these.
It's been a little while, Cassie, yes.
Well, it's good to see you, Mark. Well, the last time we did this was just about a month ago when TJ Otzelberger, I'm going to still call him TJO because that's just easy for me, was announced as the men's basketball head coach of the Runnin Rebel program. And like any roster, it's been changing since he's got in at UNLV. But let's start with the guys who are sticking around, who, in TJ's words, he was able to re-recruit.
Right. Well, Mari Hardy was the big one. You know, that was the one you looked at and say, that's the guy they got to keep because he best fits his roster. So, you know, and you would think, well, maybe that would create some momentum. Maybe it does. There's still a bunch of guys who are still in the portal, haven't made decisions. So maybe they'll look at that and say, you know, this is maybe the place to stay. But we don't know yet. You know, we're still waiting to see what these guys decide. But Amari was the big one, checking into belly. Decided to stay too. You know, he was hurt most of last season, but he gives them some sort of front court presence, gives them experience. They need front court players. They're very guard heavy right now, so that's, you know, and most of the guys in the portal, in fact, I think all the guys in the portal are forwards. So if they can get a couple more guys to stay, especially Mbaki Jong, that would be huge. If Mbaki stays, that's really big. So they got some hope going into next season that, you know, it won't be the disaster that it was 3 years ago.
Right, right. There's some guys sticking around on this team. He doesn't have to completely rebuild it. Right. Well, you just said it. Some guys are still lingering around in the transfer portal. Who do you think suited up for the last time as a Runnin' Rebel last season? Who won't be coming back?
I'd be surprised Shakir Juicen returns as a grad transfer. You would think he can go anywhere, not anywhere, but he can go someplace that's a power and play right away and have to sit out. And you got to think there are enough teams out there that are interested in him to do that. And he's got some personal reasons to stay, so it's not completely set that he's gone. But I would think he, if you had to put money on it, think he's gone. The fact that Joel Tomboy decided to put his name up for the draft, even though I can't see him getting drafted. I think he's probably going to come back to college. But it shows that his heart's really not in UNLV. So if he comes back to college, you know, he's got some really good offers on the table. I think he's going to take one of those offers. But again, maybe he decides he doesn't want to sit out a year. You know, I think he would fit the system pretty well. But Houston and Tomboy are the ones I'd be looking at the most.
And what about Nick Blair? We forgot to mention Nick Blair. He's sticking around, is he not?
He's sticking around.
That's good. That is good. And still a walk-on. You think he'll get a scholarship, maybe?
My understanding, he is getting a scholarship. I have not been able to confirm that yet, but my understanding he's getting one.
All right. Well, TJO, let's look at that. Well, out with the old and in with the new. Let's talk about the new recruits and someone who people got most excited about, Jonah Antonio, the 6'5" guard, originally from Perth, Australia, comes to UNLV from South Plains College in Texas, where he averaged 11.6 points per game while making a whopping 40.9% of his three-point shots. Mark, how do you see Jonah being a good fit under TJO and for UNLV as a whole?
When you think about Otzelberger's system, you think of someone like Jonah Antonio. You know, I mean, he just
a shooter.
I mean, I saw some of his highlights. He was jacking them up from beyond three-point range in the NBA. Yeah. And it's like, wow. Now, you know, they were kind of highlights. You can only read so much into them. You don't want to see him play a whole game. But he seems to have a lot of drive. You know, he's got a lot of confidence in himself. You know, so he right now he'd probably be a starter. Yeah. You know, he'd go right in as a starter. And 24/7 Sports just named him the #9 JC prospect in the country. So that they're obviously getting someone really good. Yeah. So yeah, he looks like he's going to be really good.
All right. Well, final thought on UNLV basketball, Mark. When a program gets a new head coach, they usually bring in a brand new coaching staff. Right. But Rebel fans should rejoice because a familiar face is returning to campus. Kevin Kruger is back. How excited should Rebel fans in general, either if you're a basketball fan, football fan, just the name Kevin Kruger coming back, how excited should that make fans?
Well, it brings back glory days, right? That was the last time they were in the Sweet 16 when he was the point guard. So, and you know, and the fact that he loves Las Vegas, he said he always tells people he's from Las Vegas. That's where he's from. Yeah. And said he's a big fan of his dad's team when Lon Kruger was the coach at UNLV, and so you know, he's got deep ties here. So he's an up and coming young coach. you know, you look at him and you think, I can see him being a future head coach, and I would not be a bit surprised. I think a lot of people see him that way.
All right, Mark, well, thank you so much. Hopefully we'll see you back in here sooner than later.
You never know.
All right, well, that will do it for us. For everything you need to know about UNLV athletics, give Mark a follow on Twitter at MarkAnderson65 and read all of his great content at reviewjournal.com. For Mark Anderson, I'm Cassie Soto. Thank you so much for watching this edition of Rebel Nation.